I am called Father Joseph Kamiza from the Archdiocese of Tororo in Uganda. When my Archbishop told me to come to represent him and the Archdiocese, the priest also asked me, what are you going to do? He said, we are going for a very great meeting, the challenge, the Fatima challenge. What does that involve? He said, well, the messages, I said, yeah, you go, understand everything. I hope I will understand everything. And then come back and make sure that you tell us a lot about it, because a lot had been said, but not very much is very clear yet. There is a bit of fright. People are frighting one another. This message has come. This has happened. Our mother has appeared. No danger is in the world. That's what they are saying. So our coming here is a blessing, which, as you have been mentioning, will help many people to come to know what's the truth about it. Now, in your presentation today, Lucia, Jacinta, and Francisco were told not to say, not reveal the secret, isn't it? So I don't know what they were not told to say. Were they not told to say the secret, and they were told to say that there was a secret? Can you clarify that area? I don't know if you get my point. They were told not to say until a certain time, right? But then I think they must have said that they had a secret which they were not supposed to say. And that was the beginning of those secrets going on. Even up to now, people are carrying the secret which they are not saying properly. I hope you get my question.
I'll try. If I don't get it, you tell me.
Okay.
First of all, Our Lady gave the secret in 3 parts on July 13th, 1917. And when they asked her, what did Our Lady say, they said it's a secret. And so in 1941, Sister Lucy wrote her memoirs under order from her bishop, and she wrote down, she said, the secret we were given in 1917 is in 3 parts. The first 2 parts I can tell you, and she wrote it down. And you'll find it in her 3rd memoir, dated August, I think 31st, August certainly 1941. And then she was asked further questions by her bishop, and she was ordered to write her 4th memoir, in which she wrote down the first and second parts again, and then she started to give the 3rd part, because she then said, in the 4th memoir, it adds the words, in Portugal, the dogma of the faith will always be preserved, etc. When Lucy was questioned about the 3rd secret, she says, in a certain way, I've already given to you. The only difference, in the 3rd secret, she said, in the 3rd memoir, she said, I'm giving you only the 1st and 2nd part. After the 4th memoir, she said, I've given you in a way the 4th secret. And so that's those words, in Portugal, the dogma of the faith will always be preserved, etc., clearly implies that the dogma of the faith will not be preserved at least some other places, which talks about when you have Cardinal Chappie, who was the cardinal theologian, the papal theologian for Pius XII, John XXIII, Paul VI, John Paul I, and John Paul II, when you have the papal theologian saying, before he dies, in the 3rd secret is foretold, among other things, that the great apostasy in the church begins at the top. There you have what was implicit in the first words, made explicit by Cardinal Chappie, who read the secret. So, but why I think your further question, or a simple, more interior question is, well, if it's supposed to be secret, how are we talking about it? And the answer is, Our Lady herself ordered Lucy to write on the envelope, by express order of Our Lady, this is to be opened in 1960. That was her express order. So why would you have a secret, some people ask, when it was supposed to be revealed later on? And the answer is because we would not understand it earlier. As I tried to explain yesterday, people would, in my age, when I was growing up, in the 50s, for example, would not understand someone saying that it's going to be priests and sisters who are going to deform Catholic education, and you have to protect yourselves against them. Now, if they said that to us in the 50s, we would not understand it. But it's easy to understand today because things have changed so much. The second thing, I think, reason why that it's progressive, the revelation of Fatima, that is, it continues to unfold more and more, is because it's so contrary to many prejudices that all of us have, that it's a complete different perception. And you know, what the Secret Services, both United American and others, talk about is called perception management. If they can get you to believe something, then they can get you to do something following that. Now, if you get the point of view that the Blessed Virgin wants you to have, then they will take away all those perception management that they spend billions of dollars on. I mean, I'm not taking sides in many of these things simply because I don't want to get into controversy. But there is perception of different people on civil matters entirely done by the propaganda machinery. All I'm saying is, let's have the truth that the Blessed Virgin want to give us. I understand that Cardinal Bertoni and Mr. De Carli don't believe that that other text is authentic, because I can tell you, Cardinal Bertoni, for example, says, can the Blessed Virgin, who is the help of Christians, he has said this, I'm quoting him almost verbatim, I'm not trying to invent it, certainly substantially I'm telling you, can the Blessed Virgin, who is the help of Christians, he is a Salesian father, and certainly the Blessed Virgin is the help of Christians, can the Blessed Virgin, help of Christians, criticize the Vatican? And the answer is, yes, she can. He thinks, by his conception, it's impossible. Because for him, you know, whatever the official of the Vatican says has got to be followed by the obedient Catholic. No, the answer is, our obedience, first of all, is to God. I obey the Pope because God gives an authority. I obey my bishop because God gives an authority. I obey my father because God gives an authority. But I don't obey my father or my Pope or my bishop when he tells me to do something contrary to the law of God. And that's exactly taught by St. Peter, the first Pope, saying we must obey God rather than men. So, but this perception that we have what is called in moral theology a reflex principle, which says, you know, when in doubt, give the doubt to the authority. I agree. But when you're certain, you can no longer give doubt to the authority. You have to stand by the truth. The truth, as we're told in St. Paul, in the second letter of Thessalonians, when the Antichrist comes, because the faithful lost their love for the truth. The truth is primordial. We can't be loving the truth on charity, but we can't have charity without the truth. We need both together. Charity and peace have kissed. Truth and justice they're all together. We can't have one without the other, but I insist here on the truth because that's what's under attack. But we must do it with charity and with love of our fellow man and love for God, first of all. But does that answer your question? Yeah.